This is everybody's day. This is everybody's day. To him, the reason why God was Jireh, that's my provider. The reason why God was Jireh 4,000 years ago and is still Jireh now is because he's alive. That's the rope upon which the constancy of God is built, is that he's living. And that's what puts him in a class of his own. You have life, but you know that your life expresses an economic law. It's called the law of diminishing returns. I know you think you are getting older. What is happening to you is that you are getting weaker. The average man first, as he grows, he peaks, right? He now begins to diminish. Whether you like it or not, your cheeks will collapse. Even if you eat 10 times a day. The body gets to a point that it no longer gives allowance to things. So when you were small as a baby, people would say, fine, fine, fine. And then that life continued to work. And then what did the life produce in you? Growth. Your growth is proof of change. You are unstable. You became unstable. You now became very fat and beautiful. They now say it's baby fat, it's baby fat. Life now continued to happen. The fat now collapsed. You now became matured, beautiful. Then you now grow. You are still beautiful. But when they see you now, they say it's aging beautiful. At the end, only the person you marry will acknowledge your beauty. And it will not be because of what that person sees. It's because of the love in the heart. It means that a life that you possess gives allowance for diminishing strength. The life that God possesses has produced constancy. That's how we can trust him. Because there are things you could not carry 5 years ago that you can carry now. It means your possibilities are varying. If we give you another 50 to 70 years, the things you can carry now, you will not be able to carry them again. If you have sense, Selah. It's not that the power will not be there, but when we say let's carry speakers, you will look for another service unit. You will not join those sweeping and bending. You will likely buy from your house a standing brush and you'll be going like that, right? Because wisdom will teach you that in serving God, you should remember your back. I know somebody say I can bend in my old age. Even the Bible says that you should do what in the days of your youth? Remember your Creator. Because an evil day will come, and it's not a day of witchcraft. It's a day when your body, as by design, because of the kind of life it has, will have diminished out of strength. Oh, but it's called the Ancient One. And the word ancient means that it's timeless. Age did not happen to him. That's the quality of life that he has. I used to know a man in our town there. The man was a strong man. I mean strong man. In those days we first got there, if there was the man always was on the bad side of the politics of the town. Maybe it was just backtesting strength. So if the town is this party, Baba will be that party. And then when people find out that his party wins and they want to attack him, what we were told was that he didn't have gatekeepers. What he did was that he had a mist as a security system. You won't see the mist. But when he activates the mist, anything that enters through his gate space catches fire. There's nothing, I mean, you just walk through air. Once you come in contact with the mist, you will be roasted. So one of his sons, Uncle John, the son found Jesus and raised an altar in the corner of that house. Whoa! As that altar, Baba first fought him. The young man now did not stay as a brother. He now became a pastor and did not leave the house. As Baba was in the strength that Baba was supposed to use him to be strong, he was lavishing on Pastor John. Unknowing to him, what Baba called a living God that he was serving was not in a class of Pastor John's living God. Because what Pastor John found could not diminish. That was the kind of life that he had. Baba was lavishing life on Pastor John. But Pastor John's altar was designed to be stronger with opposition. You know, the Bible said that a long war ensued between the house of Saul and the house of David. It began as a battle of houses. But the house of David could not produce a strong house. Go and read your Bible. The Bible said the house of Saul became weaker and weaker. David became stronger and stronger. So when they looked into the house of David, there was no strong man. But one man took out a house. Because this life that we have in fellowship with the living God is not disadvantaged by numbers. That's what helped Pastor John. As his altar became stronger, that communal mist became weaker. Until one day, Baba didn't know that his strength had gone. His car was parked out. And then an opera. And Baba sat at the top, the story building. Just like he used to sit, just sit outside. And activated the mist. Oh, the youth rushed inside. No flame. So they roasted his car. Because he could not produce fire. So they created one. Baba now began to weep. It's the same faith that you think is powerless. That young man was oppressed. All of Baba's children have transited. Because there was a battle between a household deity and a man who said yes to Jesus. It was a battle of living gods. And the God of Pastor John discipled that other God. There used to be a man in that our city. That's why I'm very rascally like this. That man, because where my parents stay, where I grew up last, we have mountains. This man, when he becomes charmed up, what he does is that he pushes his bicycle rally. Elderly man, he pushes his bicycle up the mountain. And then to backtest the saving arm of his deity, he now begins to ride down the mountain. Not a smooth slope. It's like a very sharp grade. Then he believes in his God so much. Even though your own said that he shall give his angels charge over you, you still fear. Baba also had as a defense system the inability for metals to penetrate his body. So he was now struck with appendicitis and he needed a surgery. So he came to the hospital. And he didn't meet a pastor, he met a doctor. So that he said he took the first surgery. And no surgical blades are sharp. They will sink into the skin. Tried the first cut. Once the blade runs on his body, the blade becomes blunt instantly. After he has used many, now reason that, okay, I know you. So he now intensified the economy of his God. And the blade sank like a stone in water. Did all the cuttings. When Baba woke up, before he said thank you, he said, "Doctor, what material did you use to cut me? I am metal proof." So a presentation was made of the metal that entered his body. He spent another 3 years thereabout alive. And Nadi could testify that he was the first man at every morning devotion. He will ride his bicycle from his house and come and sit down in the hospital morning devotion. Not because he was sick. He met a God that dwarfed his own. My time is up. I will have showed you a lot more things. Maybe when I go to preach in another place. So if you want to invite me, you can. If he's the living God, I hope he will give us the opportunity to preach and that he will not just come down. What I want to tell you is that the reliability of God It's not just tied to his being powerful. It's that it's constant. And it is that constancy that we advertise as his living nature. I wrote down a few things. I say man is living. Spirits also are life. However, the living attribute of man and other spirits are differentiated from God's living attribute. God is constantly living. His capacity in life is not increasing, is not depreciating. Our own living nature is diminishing. The living nature of spirits is varying, is undulating. God is what he is as long it's not God, it's not what he was. God is what he is. That's constancy. For as long as he has existed, his constancy, his stability, his faithfulness and dependability are all captured in his attribute as the living God. And in Malachi chapter 3 verse 6, he says, I am the Lord, I change not. So I did a study. If your constancy is what gives you, it gives us that living experience. There are many other experiences. There's always also a quickening experience. But I see this as a unique thing. Because many of the things you wrote on your sheets, they are not things that God has never done for anybody. Are you with me? And you can come this night thinking, 1930. If the God that was met in 1930, are you with me, is the living God, he has not diminished. If there is a believer that rises after the order of 1930, there will be visitations. You know, something funny happened. When Reverend Austin was trying to critique that they will pay you your money, and the brother came up and said, see, they have paid me my own money now. Reverend said, you know, this is not miracle money, it's money that was owed. I understand. We don't know who paid. We are not even bothered about who paid. So if he gets to work and says, oh God, thank you for paying me, and Oga says, when? He can pay. God can pay. Leave, just let him answer your request. Are you with me? Please don't be cerebral about how you answer. There are things you will never understand because they are locked in vaults. Just believe. But me, I believe this. Is there anybody asking that he will live on the moon? Your dream is that the moon should come to your house. Is that what you wrote to your pages? It means what you wrote. Maybe you wrote, I want to marry. People are married before. At least Pastor Diola is married. Me, I'm married. Who else is married here now? Raise your hand. We shall be many in Jesus' name. You are saying, Lord, I want his children. I want. There are children in the house. There will even be children's church in the ark. Because our children are coming. There's one coming here. So that we will not need that discussion again. Abina. So it's sorted out. So don't worry. If you don't, you can't know it. So forget it. I know you said but no, there's this nodding that really doesn't mean anything. It's just they don't know. Lord, I need a job. That job thing in September, it has continued. Yes, it has continued. Lord, our family has been trusting you for finances. You will see this month. That's why everyone has the don't trouble yourself. It will come with the ease with which jobs came last month, because even